My greatest ideas are always in the shower. That's always when they come to me. They need to come up with a waterproof pen so that I can take notes in the shower. Hey there, all you Valuetainers. This is Danielle DiMartino Booth, and we're about to do some questions with an economist. I guess that would be me. Well, my first investment was a car, believe it or not. One of the first lessons that I learned about investing in general is that there are things that you can buy and there's credit that you can take out. So there are always two sides of investing. That was the first and last car loan that I've ever had because I felt like it was something that I was carrying around like a weight. Well, when I was first on Wall Street, I was given a lesson on what an error is. So I entered a trade and the decimal point was off by just a little bit, and I generated a $310,000 loss for the firm. That took a little while to be worked off, but you learn really quickly when you're in the world of investing about something called fat finger errors. So be careful in how you make investments because you learn lessons quickly, and that first loss stays with you forever, and it's one of the best lessons. It's kind of like the first failure in your career. You never forget, and it helps make sure that you have future success. Whether it's a stocks or an index fund or an option, you really are buying into something that still represents the US stock market. The move towards indexing has indexing, ETFs, passive investing, and again, more than half of the investing that's done today is done in that manner, especially because of how 401ks, which many American workers have, act as kind of background noise and make sure that you're continuously investing in the stock market. So I think you have to be very careful about always balancing, because whether it's an option to buy a stock or an ETF or an index fund, you have to understand that these are automated instruments. And there are times, especially when the economy starts to slow, and we could be in a period when active investing, when mutual funds are actually going to pay more because you're going to get analysts behind them, portfolio managers who are choosing individual stocks. And that might actually, believe it or not, bring back the attractiveness of a mutual fund versus being a passive investor. I tell you what, the age at which people should start investing is when they're children. As a parent, we try and convey to the children what compounded investing is. If they save money, we double what they've saved. If they spend money, it's gone. And so as a child, you need to understand the importance of actually setting money aside. And then that first job that you get, set up an investment account and start, again, putting your money away. But I think as soon as you can understand the basic concepts, as soon as you get to a very low level of financial literacy, that investing needs to become part of your life, because retiring later on in life involves a long period of saving. And it's getting into that routine and finding the discipline to always set money aside that's going to make it to where you can invest and live as comfortably as and retire, as comfortably as you like. Well, I think for children, they need to understand the difference between a growth stock, let's say, or a stock that pays a dividend, and take baby steps. And there are a lot of instruments out there today where you can buy a slice of a share of Apple, or a slice of a share of Facebook, or a slice of a share maybe of an energy company. So I think that they should look at different areas within the stock market so that they can start to understand how different sectors of the economy interplay, how they work together. But again, whether you're talking about Charles Schwab or E-Trade, there are many, many investments that, even though a stock itself might be several $100s in price, there are ways that you can get a tiny sliver of it and watch and see how that stock ebbs and flows.
Yoga or Pilates?
Let's see, I was a gymnast when I was growing up, and I think Pilates does a lot more for the core. But if you're running a little bit too high and you're too type A, you might want to consider yoga. But for me, it would be Pilates.
What's on your playlist?
I've been listening to a lot of vintage Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel. They've been at the top of my playlist. And the funny thing is, they've been at the top of my teenagers' playlists as well. So we're actually listening to them and enjoying them together, which is quite something.
What is the sexiest accent?
George Clooney's. Where's he from? I'm kidding. I'm done. George Clooney, just I can listen to anything that he has to say. No, truly, I think the sexiest accent is a British accent.
So George Clooney is your celebrity crush.
Clearly.
Who is your ideal dinner guest of all time?
There was a gentleman by the name of William McChesney Martin who was an independent chair of the Federal Reserve. He was the longest serving Federal Reserve chair, and he famously said that it was the Fed's duty to take away the punch bowl just as the party was getting started. And he was not influenced by many presidents who he served under, and was truly an independent and brilliant thinker. So if we could bring him back from the dead, I would have him sit across from me, and I might even invite Paul Volcker to join us as well. So any of you who know your Fed history know exactly what I'm talking about.
But George Clooney is the real answer.
Oh, well, if there was no discussion involved, George Clooney would definitely be there.
Your favorite celebrity couple?
I like Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, and I always thought that the Newman couple, Paul Newman, to me stood as just he stood as an example for future generations of would-be husbands, and because of how loyal and endearing and sweet and lifelong that marriage proved to be.
So it's not Kim and Kanye? Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
Would you rather travel by car, plane, or boat?
I would rather travel by plane.
Window or aisle?
Always the aisle.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Do I have any hidden talents? Well, I manage time better than anybody I know. I travel a ton, I have 4 children, I have 2 neurotic basset hounds, and I still manage to find time to have fun with family and friends.
Who do you want to play you in the movie of your life?
I would certainly want for that to be Sandra Bullock.
I can see her doing that. Yeah. Do you sing in the shower?
I do not sing in the shower. However, my greatest ideas for the research that we publish, I've got a research company, we publish every single day. My greatest ideas are always in the shower. That's always when they come to me. They need to come up with a waterproof pen so that I can take notes in the shower.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie of all time is likely Godfather 2. I mean, you had to have Godfather 2. Godfather 1 would have been the best as a standalone. So this is an unusual case when the sequel ended up being better than the first, but maybe if in a perfect world we could just squish the two of them together.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you speak another language?
Hablo español. J'ai étudié le français 6 ans. So yes, I do speak several other languages.
Is it okay to take your shoes off on a plane?
It is not okay to take your shoes off on a plane, ever, period, end, stop.
Are clowns scary?
Clowns are really scary, but I grew up like in the late 80s and when Poltergeist was a thing. You only have to see Poltergeist once to know that clowns are not your friends.
So the last thing I guess we'll do, can you say goodbye to the Valuetainers in Spanish or French maybe?
Que les vaya bien todos los Valuetainers y hasta la próxima, Daniela.